Ken, I think it's fair to say that the vacillations and these trade war dynamics and perceptions of potential war haven't impacted the credit markets and particularly high yield as much as, say, equity markets, or in a different way. Explain to us how you've seen that through the prism of the credit markets.
I think you're right. I don't think we've had nearly the volatility that the equity market has had, given the concerns about a trade war. I think as it relates to high yield, part of that's due to the fact that the high yield marketplace or the companies within that market are less global. So if you think of the high yield marketplace, more of the Russell 2000, which has approximately got 20% of its revenues associated with exports, as opposed to the Dow, which is more like, or the S&P 500, which is more like 40%. I think that explains the difference.
Well, so of course, then the other majorly impacting factor, which likely is having much more of an impact, is the Federal Reserve. How more tight will spreads get?
Well, we hit a tight spread in the high yield market for U.S. high yield of about 330 basis points at the end of January. When volatility was still low, all seemed right with the world. There was no concern about a trade war. Right now, we're at about 375 over. So we've widened back out. But we're about where we started the year. So spreads tightened considerably during the month of January. Could we get back to where we were at the end of January, that 325, 330 level? Yes, I think that that's a possibility if things get to be a bit more stable. I'd be surprised to see us tighten beyond 300 basis points, though.
Ken, we've seen a ripple of defaults, haven't we? Toys R Us, Claire Stores, to name a couple. I mean, are we about to see a surge in defaults? Is something happening here?
Mark, I think if you look at most of the defaults that we've seen recently, Claire's being one, iHeart, Toys R Us, most of those are transactions that we had that reflect issues from the last credit cycle. Most of those are companies that went through LBOs or significant restructurings at that point. Most of these have been companies that have been having trouble or facing headwinds for a considerable period of time. So I don't think we're about to see a surge in defaults. And we're not particularly concerned about that at this stage.